I support. I said it. Support. I support it. I said support.
I support.
Hey man, what's happening? It's your boy Skrilla, man. Shout out to I Said It, the celebrity interviewer. You dig what I'm talking about, man.
What up, it's your boy Dave Tolliver from the legendary Minute Large, and right now you're checking out the celebrity interviewer I Said It, the show, baby. Yeah, it's all being brought to you by Chicago Bridge.
Celebrity interviewer, I Said It, the show.
Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. I want to definitely welcome you all back for another great episode. Hey, you know my name, celebrity interviewer. I Said It, and this is the show. And I have the greatest opportunity to be able to bring you all the best interviews from people that's in the entertainment industry, along with people that's in media and people that's building in their community around the world. This beautiful young lady to my right, maybe to my left, whatever side of the world you may be looking on, man, I like to welcome celebrity guest, CEO of Torry Girl Media Entertainment. Man, she's a well-known actress, screenwriter, creative producer, and acting coach. I'd like to welcome to the show the one and only Malaika Torry. Peace, Queen, and salute to everything you've been doing. Welcome.
And salute to you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the nice introduction. I like that. I appreciate that.
Thank you. No, I really appreciate you. Really appreciate your time. Here on the show, like I say, I just want to, bring you on here to celebrate your legacy. You've been doing some amazing things out here. But sometimes in this career, in this industry, people see just one side of it. They see the success of it, but they don't know the grind behind it, what it took to get there. And on this show, I like to just kind of take it back to the beginning and just as I celebrate your legacy, please. You know what I mean? So first, I just want to ask you a simple question. First, I want to compliment you because you look beautiful today.
Oh, thank you. Don't have me blushing over here.
No, you look really nice. You know what I mean? I really appreciate you. First, how was your day? Because that's like the appropriate way to start.
Well, thanks for asking. My day was pretty good. It was an easy peasy Wednesday. Wasn't a typical hump day. I'm happy to get over the hump because we're pushing into the weekend, but my day was pretty cool today. Thank you. I hope you had a good one. Well, you might have had a busier day than mine, but
No, I was just trying to prepare and getting ready for this interview, with yourself. So, just thinking about it, mentally preparing for it. But first question though, where are you originally from, if I may ask?
Well, originally I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. Give it up for the
Okay.
loot. I was born in
Okay.
California, but I grew up in
Okay.
St. Louis. That's my hometown where I remember everything. So yeah, St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
And
Absolutely.
I ended up going to school in Little Rock, Arkansas, to Historical Black College, Philander Smith, and then I lived in California for a little while, and then I've been in Atlanta since many, many years. Many years. I started a family here, and the rest is history. I bounced around a little bit with work. Lived in New York and traveled a lot with my 9 to 5 job outside of my passion, Torry girl, and my acting. So yeah, but Atlanta's like the place I lived the longest that I will call home.
Okay. Absolutely. Well, still going back to the St. Louis days, if I may, just growing up in St. Louis, what was that experience like? You know what I mean? Because that's like a really, like a small, it's big, but it's small. Like everybody know
Yeah,
everybody, that type of thing.
absolutely, absolutely. St.
So
Louis
you
is
have like,
actually great. I don't have anything bad to say about it. My experience growing up was fine. Grew up in the city. Went to private school from like kindergarten to 6th grade, and then I wanted to go to a performing arts high school. What one made me want to go, because I always fell in love with acting in at a young age, at the age of 7. But the TV show Fame came out in the movie. And I was
right,
like, oh my God, I want to go to school like that. Like, I want to be doing that. And my brother, Guy, would tease me all the time because I was like, I want the singing in the hallways and the cafeteria. I want it to be like that, the acting. But so I told my dad I wanted I didn't want to go to Catholic school anymore. I want to go to Performing Arts High School. So he did everything he could to get me in. I had to go to a magnet school from my middle school years for 7th and 8th grade to make an easy transition. And then I went to Central Vision Performing Arts High School, and I loved it. So my experience in St. Louis, it wasn't a bad experience. Like I said, I grew up in the city. We saw a lot of things. They say the hood and all that things like that. I seen it all, best of both worlds. Seeing a little bit of everything and being raised by a teacher, and my dad was a retired military. He worked for the post office. I had a pretty good family balance with my siblings, but my upbringing, I seen all types of things in my neighborhood, and I pretty much can handle a lot because I can take, live in the inner city, and then I can take part of a different type of lifestyle. So I blended with who I am, and St. Louis was good to me.
well, that's a good thing to always say that. You know what I mean? That the place that you first can remember was a good memory, because a lot of people sometimes have bad memories. It can go either way, especially
Yeah,
in the black community.
unfortunately, I've seen some things that happened in my neighborhood. I've witnessed, well, we had two childhood friends that end up, like, when the rise of the gangs and stuff started getting popular, got killed and murdered, and it was really sad. Like, people we grew up with, played with every day. I had a next door neighbor, someone who was murdered, like a young kid by their mom and things like that.
Real.
And our community, we came together as far as trying to bond and just heal and still live life from that. So it's some things that I wish didn't happen, but like, my personal things never really happened to me personally, but like it's still affecting me to see other things that happen to other people. But like I said, I have no complaints. My parents still lived. Well, my dad passed away in 2014, but my parents stayed there. My mom is still there. I have an older sister in St. Louis. I actually just went in Labor Day weekend to see my mom. So, you know, and I still have friends from high school, that I'm still communicating with.
Well, I'm sorry to hear about your dad. My condolences, definitely.
It's okay. Thank you. I'm pretty sure he's resting and telling stories somewhere in heaven.
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, Now, with that being said, did you participate like any acting classes or anything like that during your high school years or in school, or was you in like any type of groups or clubs or something like that?
Well, starting in 7th grade, when I felt like I saw my first play. Not 7th grade, I was 7, like 3rd grade. at the Catholic
7.
school. It was a teacher. Yeah, my favorite teacher, third grade teacher, Miss Walton, Sandra Walton. It's so funny. Her daughter is a senator now. Her whole family, they're all part of like politics right now. But her, I saw my first play, Your Arm Too Short to Box with God, and they performed. She would put on all these plays. I went to a Catholic school, but it was a predominantly Black Catholic school. We had all white nuns and priests, but all the student body and the teachers were Black. A few nuns here and there were teachers, and they threw a play, and I was so amazed by Your Arms Too Short to Box with God. It was just like everything. When I first saw it, I was like, I want to be an actress. I want to do this. Now, I didn't know 2 years later that I really can't sing, but I do have my acting skills are up to par. But I was like, I want to do everything. And then when I got in her class, I was like, I want to be in her class because she threw in all these great plays. And got in her class, and I started doing plays, started working with her outside of school. And then that was where I got the bug. And my mom had us doing like little stuff for church and her little organizations that she was part of. She had me and my brothers. My brothers played the drums and the congos, and I would like dramatize stuff and do African dancing, So my mom was very culturally involved into a lot of things that she, her African history, her heritage. So I learned a lot from her. So those two women, they influenced me with the acting bug and performing. And then, like I was telling you, I went to Performing Arts High School. I majored in theater. I played music. I played the saxophone a little while. I did photography. And then my last 2 years of high school, I made theater my double major. And it was it for me. That was my passion. That's what I wanted.
You did your thing. You was a busybody in high school. Wow.
Well, yeah, a little bit, a little something.
You did sports. You did sports too.
What's so funny is my siblings were all athletes, except for one sibling. And it's a funny story because my sister ran track. She got a track scholarship. She's 10 years older, but she got a track scholarship. My brothers play football. They were in band. My other Joe and Guy, they played. They wrestled. They was on a wrestling team, and they played football. But Guy, he played football, basketball. He was on a wrestling team, and he ran track. So we went to the same high school. My other brothers didn't go to the Performing High School, but Guy and I graduated from the high school. He ran track, and since my sister was so known and popular in track, and Guy was a sprinter, he was so good. My social study teacher, she loved Guy. I'll never forget her, Miss Calvert, and she loved me. And she wanted me to run track. And she thought that she just knew that I had these skills because of my brother and my sister. And I didn't want to let her down. And I was like, oh God, she kept asking me to run track. And I was like, she was the track coach. And I was just like, oh my God, like you really, really want me? I think you can do it. Just come to a practice. Just come and watch. So I came and watched one time, and I was like, okay, I can do this. And I knew that this girl was not no track star. But I tried. She said, okay, well maybe, but for some reason, me being not that tall, I'm 5'4.5", I was good at the long jump. Like could jump really far, and I did good, and I threw the shot put. I did that for a little while. But I think she liked me so much. I think we just end up having a mutual, like, yeah, it's safe for me. I just quit. Because I was like, my heart wasn't in it. And I was like, you can't be something that I learned right then. Don't be something you're not, and you can't please everybody no matter how much you like them. And I was like, this is not it. But I love watching track. I like watching the Olympics and things like that. So I was never a real athletic person like that, but I played baseball in the neighborhood with my family. We would play in the backyard, softball. I did like playing that. But I didn't get that athletic bug like that.
Right. No, well, hey, it's one heck of a thing that you tried, you know what I mean? You got to give your credit where it's due. And a pat on the back for trying because, you know, and the coach, you know, will kind of sing you off too because, you know what I'm saying, you just a child, like how you know, like, you know what I'm saying, and she keep pumping your head up, like, you know, and then you start thinking like, hey, maybe I do got it. Maybe I do got it in. Maybe I just stay trying hard enough.
That's what helped me. I know. know, right? That's how I was. I was like, well, damn, maybe I might surprise myself when I get to practice. Because
Right.
she kept asking. I was like, dang, well, she stopped asking. But I liked her so much. She was a cool teacher, and I was like,
Mm.
all right, let's just see. Maybe I might end up being like better than I thought I was, but my heart wasn't
Right.
in it like that. We go to track practice and all that stuff, and I had a good run, but I was like, yeah, no, I'm good.
Hey, no, that's funny.
My daughters, though, fast forward to my adult life, I did. My three daughters actually were good athletes, and they played very good in basketball and stuff. So, I was proud of that moment. But yeah, I wasn't the girl.
Hey, sometimes it skip a generation just like height.
Hmm.
That's how it be. But no, so out of all of those experiences, what led to just you becoming a whole media team of Torry Girl Media Entertainment.
Well, okay? So I learned. It's funny because you get lessons in life early, but sometimes you don't never think about it till later on in life, if that makes sense. So when
Yeah.
I auditioned I got in to the performing arts high school. I was so excited. My mom was like, okay, then you gotta write a monologue you not write a monologue. You have to perform a monologue to see if you got some chops. So ninth grade, I auditioned for the drama department. And I was like, I'm in the school. Like, can I just get in what I want to be in? Why I gotta audition? So I had to
Right.
audition. My mom was like, well, let's find something. She said, let's write something. That's where I got my writing from, but I didn't realize another lesson that I was going to become a writer then. I didn't like to write
Mm.
like that. My mom was the great writer. So we wrote a piece, and she made me perform it. It was a Harriet Tubman piece, actually. She made it up, she wrote it, and I performed it, and I got in. So I was like, oh, I'm in. I just knew that I was going to start off just acting right away. They're going to love me. I'm about to be the best actress in the world. I'm going to show them. I'm going to shine. Because my brother Guy will hype me up all through my childhood. You're going to be this big actress. You're going to be this. You're the best. You're the best. Like, he will always do that. Ever since and I used to cry easy on purpose. When I see that it worked, I start crying like to get my way. And he caught on later and be like, oh, no, you're a good actress. So when I got in the theater, I didn't get any acting roles. I didn't know that you had to learn behind the scenes freshman year. So we had to do set design, set up. We had to do all the plays, but we had to set up everything. We couldn't act. So I was like, bums, like, oh, I gotta set up. But then I learned how to make a set and do all that. But in the second year, sophomore year, okay, I'm about to get up. In acting classes, you kind of get to perform. But still, they was like, okay, you gotta do children's theater. And I was like, oh my God. So Winnie the Pooh, Scrooge, all those type of plays. We were going to schools performing for children. Kids were coming to the school. We did 3 shows a day. That was still, I didn't start really performing into like real big plays until junior and senior year. But why I'm telling you that story is because later in life, I learned all those tools to put into the tools that I learned, and tools into my business. And even in college,
Exactly.
my school didn't have a drama department.
Mm.
And the thing that got me hyped about going to my school, because I really wasn't excited about going to my school that I chose for college at first. They had a drama department. But when I went, they didn't have no drama department. And it was like, oh, we didn't have one since the 80s. And I was like, are you serious? So here in the 90s, I'm like, oh, wow. So my second year, someone said, hey, didn't you ask about the drama department? We got a teacher from Grambling. She's coming down here and she's about to start it. So I partnered with her and we helped start the drama department at my college. I started writing. I started performing. I got awards. Even in high school, I got like best supporting actress. I got that in college. And I started recruiting people. And my best friend was so shy. She was just going along for the ride. I got her into acting. That was just her moment then. She didn't do it later, but I got her into like we started performing all around, Arkansas. We started going to competitions, Grambling, and all those type of things. So all that from high school to my life to college, I put in the work on how to. I got my creative side even more, and I didn't know it. All my mind was being an actress. That's it. When I started writing, I didn't like to write, but I started writing. People started saying, liking my work. I started performing, and then I went to LA after college. I don't know if you want to talk about that, but when I went to LA, my brothers, Joe and Guy Torry, had already started putting stamp in Hollywood. And from then on, I started becoming an acting coach for my brother for his auditions. Guy, I didn't even know I had it in me like that.
Well, that's really awesome.
So everything just started trailing. Right, I started doing comedy. I even though I was gonna be a comedian for a minute, that blew me away because Guy was like, "You gotta do comedy," and I was like, "No." He said, "You funny." I'm like, "No, I'm funny with my friends, not on stage." He said, "No, you're funny, seriously." He said, "But you don't have a problem performing for people. You're an actress." I said, "Yeah, but that's a whole different ballgame. Comedy is different." And I watched all these comedy shows. Def Jam came out. It was so, big and popular. My brother Joe hosted it right after Martin Lawrence gave him the throne. It was just a big thing. And I loved watching it. But I never imagined myself being a comedian at that time. So one day I worked up the nerve. I started doing jokes. Every time I would give Guy a joke, it would work. Yeah. And he would go to use it in the Comedy Store in LA. And I was like, I mean, give him all the jokes, but here and then I was like, hey, why don't you try this? Or you should say this. And he was like, it's actually funny. He would use it, and I was working for him at the time at the Comedy Store. And it works. So I was like, shoot, every time I give him a joke, it actually works. I see it in person. One weekend in town, I do comedy. And I was like, this is kind of funny. And long story short, I can wait for a guy to come home. I said, hey, I think I might take you up in your offer and do jokes. He was like, no, seriously. And I was like, yeah, seriously. So I did it. And he said, let me hear a joke. And I told him, he said, oh, that's funny. And he said, let me hear another one. I told him, he said, oh, let me have that one. I said, no, you can't have that one. He said, no. I said, you got 3 years worth of jokes. I got a weekend. Like, come on. And it just went and went on. And I got a standing ovation the first time I did comedy. And it just kicked off from there. And I don't know. I mean, it's just told us to something else. I kept adding, like, oh, wow. But I found out it wasn't in my heart to do comedy like that. Another lesson. See, remember, I didn't learn from high school doing something that somebody else wants you to do, trying to please somebody else, even though it worked, but it wasn't in my heart. That's what I'm see. One thing.
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, hopefully get it right back. But if not, what we're going to do is take a quick commercial break. And we're going to come right back.
I'm here. I'm sorry. Okay. I was trying to adjust something, but
it's black right now.
Oh. I'm here. I see you. I don't know why it's black, but I can see you.
Okay, you're back.
Okay. Hey, I won't do that again. But no, I it just went from there, and then like through the time, I had a great opportunity to, working in California with my brother. A lot of comedians was on the rise, from Chris Tucker to Cedric and Taylor to Eddie Griffith. I mean, I can go on and on. Bill Bellamy. I got a chance to meet Richard Pryor. God bless him. He was in a wheelchair at the time. I got a chance to see Damon Wayans, like just in the club, and Tupac, and just I mean, I could just go on.
Excuse me. Hold on. You saying too big. The names is getting larger and larger. Like, hold on. You gotta relax. You gotta slow down for a minute. You gotta pause. Whatever button that is, we need to do that because, you know what I mean, just to show respect to all these people. You know what I mean. That's like huge. You know what I mean. What year time span are we talking about right now?
In the mid-90s, yeah, mid-90s. I was got a chance to to really see a lot. I was in a comedy. My brother, Torry, he was given the opportunity to work he was new too. He was only probably doing comedy for like 3 years. I don't even think he had no movies out. Def Jam was like the only thing he's done on TV. Joe was the one that had the movies. His movies. We were out Poetic Justice, Tales of the Hood, all those. I was at my first movie premiere on red carpet with him, like the Chinese Theater in LA, and all that time. I went at the perfect time when I went to California. I was like, oh God, I just got here from Arkansas from college, and now I'm on the red carpet. Like, with my brother at the Chinese Theater in LA. Oh my goodness. And I was a young girl, Yeah, like, and it's so crazy because I was getting my brother would be like, hey, Ice Cube was having a pool party, you want to go? And I'm like, oh my God, I gotta work. It was that easy. Like, hey, so is doing this. You got time, and I was living with them, but it was just that easy at that time to be, and Guy was like, I'm starting do my own thing. I want to host a comedy room at the Comedy Store, which is legendary in LA on Sunset Boulevard. And he was like, they gave him the smallest room just to give him a try. It's called a belly room. It was the smallest room. He's actually has that documentary is about to be out, and it's some big heavy hitters that produced it with him. So you're going to be seeing that the whole story, because it lasted for like over 10 years. He started from the belly room, and they moved him up to the big room, the main room, and it's just literally all the people I named, they were coming. People would be lined up. And when the first time he aired was not going to do the show, he had me on the beach passing flyers out to people to come. And he would pay me, I think $25. No, he was paying me lunch at the time. He said, I'll buy you lunch, you and your friends. And I was like, oh, cool, And we were passing out flyers. I see Robert Townsend and Phase on Love, like at the Fun House in South Central LA. I just walked up to him. I was a little nervous, and I was like, hey, can you here for a second? And I was like, I want to give you this flyer. My brother is Joe. It's got Joe and Torry, and they're having a show. My brother Guy is doing his own thing. And Robert was like, okay. And I was just, okay, So I was passing out flyers to them. And that same room is where I started doing my comedy. And Guy had me be the girl that would give the light, show the light. So when comedians, when it's time for them to get off the stage or how much time they have, I was doing a little bit of DJ for him. Whenever the DJ didn't show up, I was ushering people to the seats. And then I'm doing comedy. And it was so funny because I never would forget Chris Tucker was like on stage. And he was like, dang, your brother got you on everything. You one minute you give him the light, you telling jokes, you know how he talking. It was just so funny because I was like, I am doing like a whole bunch of things, but I didn't care. I was free as a bird. Like, it was a great experience. So all those people with the names like Tupac, Lorenz Tate, everybody was in their prime, like in their beginning of their careers, and they were just coming out. And because Guy wanted to give Black comedians the opportunity to be seen by directors and people from the industry who was afraid to go to the South Central LA to see them. So he had them, he was in LA in Sunset Boulevard, and that just created and built so many careers for people. Dave Chappelle, all these people, So I remember when Guy had a comedy show, and it was Dave Chappelle, Guy, and Chris Tucker, and nobody showed up but me and my best friend and one other person, and it was in Princess Club, and
that's inspiring.
And I would never forget that. And I was like, oh my God, and nobody really knew them, but they was like, forget it, we gotta go party in the club. And it had 3 levels, and we all left, and that was it. But that was then. So when I tell you these stories, because I had learned so much just from different lessons in life, to experience stuff that I didn't even know I was going to experience when I went to LA. And people I met when I started doing comedy, different agents, and people were coming after me so fast. And I was like, I only was doing stand-up. Like, that was my 3rd time, and I had agents calling the house from Columbia Pictures and all these things. And I was like, oh my God. So it was true story. We talk about this. And it's just funny because I learned a lot. I got pregnant with my oldest daughter. I never did go back to LA. I went back and started a family, and then life went on from there. But it was still always in my heart. So when I planted in Atlanta, I started doing being extras on movie sets. I started doing other gigs here and there, still working, raising a family, and then from there, I created years later my own acting studio. So, I mean, any
Hey,
other
that's
questions from
beautiful.
there, I can tell you how I got to that. But I have to give you that
Absolutely.
yellow brick road
Yeah.
to get to where I'm at now.
No, absolutely. Because you've been doing so many amazing things thus far, you know what I mean? And from that point on, you know what I mean? So, like you said, you got into the acting and everything like that. What was one of your first films that you got into, or was it a TV show?
Well, it was more. I started doing extra work on Drumline. There's one movie called Passing Glory that had a lot of good actors in it, but it was made for TV. I worked on Motives 1 and 2 with Vivica Fox, Shamar Moore, my brother Joe, and the host Golden Brooks. That was though actually two very good movies. Motives 1 and 2. I worked on
Yeah,
this movie. The name kills me. It was supposed to be called Terror, but it's called Rats.
yeah.
And it was with Ice T and Isaiah Washington. Um,
Mm,
just
okay.
those heavy hitters on there. And the thing about it is, I got a chance to work on the set and learn. I start watching because when you're on set, you're on there for a long time. Like call time could be 1, and y'all might not get done till like 4 in the morning. You just never know. But
Yeah,
I would never get tired of being on the set. It was to me, it was like everything. So I'll be watching. Like if you take a break, I'll go grab something, maybe get food, and I'll come back and watch the directors. I will watch the scene, but like how they interact and what they would do, And then when I was on the set of Motives, um, Rainforest Films, which who created, Think Like a Man, Stomp the Yard, Christmas, the movie with Chris Brown and Idris Elba, the Christmas. I forgot, I can't think of the name, but it's real popular. Um,
no, no worries.
but all those they created so many movies. The Takers,
Right.
all those movies. I got a chance to meet them, especially Rob Hardy, who's part of Rainforest, who created it with Will Packer. I got a chance to build a relationship with Rob and be able to learn different things and just get insight and watch, behind the scenes. And they opened me with big arms, like, hey, of course, it's like, oh, you're Joe's sister or whatever. And they would just always just be so humble and so embracing. So just building a relationship through time on the movie sets. And then like I got an opportunity just being on one of those movie sets. I think it was Drumline. I met an agent who worked for Tyler Perry. And he passed away, God bless his soul. He was the one that got me on the BET Hip Hop Awards opening act with Cat Williams. Now that
Okay.
story right there, I didn't even. I was in my acting studio, and I was I was having a meeting with someone, and I got a phone call from Gary, and he was like, "Hey, the BET Hip Hop Awards is here in town. It was always based in Atlanta." And I was like, "Yeah. I think I seen, heard about it." I blew it off. I totally blew it off, and he was like, "Well, they having a show. Did you want to go?" I was like, I guess. I don't know. I don't really care." And he was like, "Well, they need people. Cat Williams is hosting. They're looking for someone in their opening act." And I was like, "Really? They some girls." And I literally was like, "Okay, they gonna pick me." Like I honestly was like, all these women in Atlanta, what I'm saying? So he was just like, "Well, you got headshots." I said, "Yeah." He was like, "Well, they looking for some women, and let's just give it a shot." I said, "So you want me to like send you pictures for it?" I said, he was like, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, okay." And in my mind, I was like, I'm not like tall, there's a model and all this stuff. Like, you don't take me. Well, I'll humor you and send you my pictures.
I got a
And
couple of pictures. I beg to differ. I got a couple of pictures. I beg to differ. But please continue.
so so I was like, I blew it off. So I sent him. I said, "I'll email you to you in a little while." So I sent it to him.
Right.
And I went back to my meeting, and I was actually setting up a meeting with someone we were trying to set up a workshop for actresses and women to be more confident and more comfortable with just being who you are, whatever size, shape, whatever it is. I was trying to set up a confidence workshop at that time. And so then later I said, "Girl, he called me, Gary, he's on the BT thing." And I was like, "Yeah, whatever, you know." And then like later I got a text like, "Hey, I sent them the stuff. I'll let you know how it goes. I said, okay. Then later on that day, I start fantasizing in my head just a little bit like, that'd be funny if I was actually, on there. I said, nah. Blew it off. Then maybe later that evening, he was like, hey, it might be looking good in your favor. And I was like, look at the phone like, Then 2 hours later, he said, you got it. I said, are you serious? He said, yo, I had like 100 women. He said, you and another girl. And I said, you pick me? He said, yeah. Can you come down tonight? And I'm in the suburbs. It's all the way downtown Atlanta on the south side. He said, they want to meet you. And I also had to go to the dance studio, and the rest is history. They chose me. And that was the best year because Kanye performed and opened up the show. He was that song, Wait Till I Get My Money, right? That song that year. LL, Nelly performed, Wyclef performed. When I tell you that was amazing, they had the people from the Grammys that they hired them that year to produce. So it was all like lights, camera, action. It wasn't like no little like, oh, we got a little war show, whatever. It was they pulled all the stunts out. And I got asked to come back the second year, but then it was a little issues with Cat Williams and the BT, which I saw a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and everybody tried to make it look like it was Cat. Cat it really wasn't his fault. He was fighting for it. One thing I can say about Cat, he went hard for his talent. Anybody was on his team and his crew, he took care of us. He made sure we was trying to get paid right. He wanted us to have costumes. He wanted to make sure we eat. He was all for his people. I can honestly say when I worked with him, I had no bad experience. He was really like, I want y'all to shine. And that was the impression I had on him from day one and even the second year. But it just didn't go in his favor. And at the last minute, it canceled in the second year, not 2008. Because I did it in 2007. I was asked to come back 2008. And then T-Pain was asked at the last minute, the day of the show, to host. Because it was that bad when they fell out. But other than that, I still had a good experience with BET. And that's a memory that I loved. And I can take that as my own.
So you was like the actual like co-host, the host?
No. We was in the opening act. But they pay you. You get your talent. You on TV. We performed right after Kanye West performed. And it was so funny because that year, I think it's when T.I. got arrested or something for having a gun or something. And he was supposed to perform. He was at rehearsal the night before. And he got in trouble the night after that. And then he couldn't perform. So Kat was like, let me tell you, this is so funny though. Right before we were about to walk out the stage, and from the millions of people who's going to watch this around the world, and then not alone, all the people in the audience, Kat said, change your plans. And I was like, a girl looked at Carrie, we looked at each other, and he was like, we're going to do something different. Whatever we did in rehearsal, we're going to do something a little different. Literally, like 5 minutes before we were about to walk out the stage, we're in gowns, and he said, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and we're going to do this. And I didn't know what the salute meant. And I was like, why are we saluting? But later I found out that was to T.I. because he couldn't come do the show because he got in trouble. And then they told us, oh, be careful. You know how there's smoke machines that's like on the floor?
Right.
Kanye's scene had all that. He had a whole orchestra and all that out there. They said, be careful with this thing that you're pulling the cat out on, because if you hit it, you could just start a fire. If we were all that wait, 5 minutes before we're about to walk out, all that. So be careful how you swing that thing. And I was like, really? We got all this in 5 minutes. And we pulled it off. And Kanye just performed. And I was just like, okay. But the thing I can work under pressure, but yeah. So that was that. And then
hey, bravo.
Well, thank
That's
you.
impressive,
I mean,
though. You know what I mean? Because like it's one thing to be, to be in front of a huge crowd, because that's a huge crowd. You know what I mean? The BET Awards, whatever like that. So to be in front of that big crowd and around all them huge stars, and like you say in the beginning, you wasn't expecting to get picked, and then to get picked, and then it's the thing to show up for the job. You can get the job, but sometimes you might get scared on the way to the job and be like, man, maybe this ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? But you showed up to the job, you know what I mean? And you did that. You made history. and that you know what I
Yeah,
mean. That matters.
I will say I was glad to be a part of that history, and I wasn't working at the time. I was struggling with keeping my studio open. I'm gonna keep it real. I was laid off from my day job. I was really trying to figure out how things were gonna go. I barely
Yeah,
had gas money to even get to all the way to the other side of town at that time, and I was
that's
like, "Oh
cool.
my God, this is crazy!" And I put $2 or $3 in my tank, and I don't know how it made it there and back. That was God, because I was like, yeah, I can use that check when it comes. But it was so many things that was going on behind the scenes, because it was like that recession had started around that time, that '07 crash with the mortgage industry and the foreclosures all are going on around. And I worked in banking at the time, so I had got laid off, and and I was trying to hold my business together. So that was a moment. It's so many memories from that moment. I just laughed like, wow, I made it through that. And eventually, down the line, I just kept soaring. And the Torry Girl actually came from Strictly Dramatic Productions. And when I opened up my studio, it was called Strictly Dramatic Studios. And
Okay.
I started doing spoken word. See, that's another thing. I started doing spoken word in college, but I started really doing it more later in Atlanta when I opened my acting studio. Because I write. When we talk about writing, another lesson I learned from high school, but never knew it was going to take me further later. When I
Right.
auditioned to the drama department in college, I wrote my first monologue, which I learned from my mother, which I didn't want to write in high school, but I did in college, and it got me in. And then my drama teacher loved it so much, she based the whole scene off of it. The piece I wrote called "Who Am I?" I'm a strong
Mm.
Black woman. I'm a strong, intelligent Black woman. And I just went on from there, and I talked
Yeah.
about all the Black women from Coretta Scott King to Betty Shabazz, and I'm like, don't you ever underestimate a strong Black. I had this whole piece about it, and she made this big thing on it, and had all the other girls in our department follow from that. And I was like, damn, I must got a little something, something. I had a little sauce. Okay. And I started doing spoken word to get exposure. Really, I still wanted my acting to get exposure. Started doing monologue. I started doing spoken word. I met a lot of HBO deaf poets that were actually on the show. HBO, when Russell Simmons started Deaf Poetry Jam.
Right.
A lot of the regular ones who were on the show, regulars like Georgia Me, Abyss, Tommy Bounds, Malik Salam, they embraced me into that community. They were in my shows. I was in their events. I supported their events, and that was a pillar for me here in Atlanta. When I started my acting studio, I had a show, open mic show, Strictly Dramatic Studio. No, Outspoken Saturdays, and I
Outspoken
would
Saturday.
have
I
them
like that.
host. Yeah, and they would host. I would host, and they would be part of my shows. And these guys were beasts. They could claim and say I'm a HBO deaf poetry. I'm this and that, and they embraced me, showed me so much love, and I would perform. They would perform. I would have them, and I learned from my brother again. See, it's all about these little lessons in life.
Right.
I always had a theater background, but I learned how to work a room and how to treat your features from my brother Guy. When I worked for him, having all those hats I was talking about, I'm the DJ
Mm-hmm.
girl, I'm the light girl, I'm doing comedy, I'm ushering. With all this stuff working for my brother, who's paying me $25 every Tuesday, which I thought it was a lot back then. Um,
Yeah, stop.
I learned from him, and I said,
$25 every
"Hey,
two.
yeah, yeah, I had no kids. I had a little job, I had no bills. That was nothing. I have a car. It was like, oh well, shoot, give me that money. So I I learned how to run my open mic show from working for Guy, and I called him on the phone and was like, hey, what do you think I should do, and how much do you think I should pay my feature? And he gave me a nice little lesson, little lecture, and I learned so much. So I put that in. Never knew I was gonna do it on my own down the line, but I incorporated not just comedy, spoken word, singing, and improv for actors. Because I was like, every actor, we don't never get to see the an actor until they get the role, if they get it. But everybody else can expose themselves around the world. But actors, you won't see them until if they land the role. So I was like, why don't
Yeah,
you
that's
come in my room and perform? Do a monologue, do spoken word, do an improv scene. So I started improv, and nobody was really doing improv in our community like that.
mm,
So that was something I created at my
right.
studio, and I had so much fun with that, and I learned so much
About
working with different people.
excuse me, about what
And
year the time period was this when you
that was
started this improv
2007,
thing?
2007, 2007. And
Okay,
then
congratulations.
I ended up closing. And then years later, I had a fear in me because I felt like I failed. I was like, this baby was so nice. Everybody loved it. It was my passion. It was my heart. And I had to close it. And, my mom was like, don't worry about it. You went to school of hard knocks. A lot of people pay millions and lose money for business they started. You learned from scratch. You started it. It was a beautiful thing.
Right.
Later in life, something else will come. But don't never think it was in vain. And it really hurt me for years because I was like, I had to close this. This was something I thought, you know, and it took me a while to really rebrand myself. So when I rebranded, I came up with, so I really want to do strictly dramatic, productions. What can I do to brand my name, my family name, and really put a stamp on it? And then it just came one day, and I was like, Torry girl, and ask me why did I come up with Torry girl. I want to know if you know why.
Oh, it's easy.
What?
Um, well, first I know because I'll be paying attention, right? You're not the only daughter, but you are you are the baby girl. You know what I'm saying? And girls usually, young girls is referring to as girls and not ladies, not women. So I don't know. I might be reading too deep into it, but I think that's why you went to with the girl and Torry, obviously the last name, and it's in media. But it's a really fly logo.
No, you're actually the first person. And my brother, thanks, shout out, my oldest brother Ramon helped me with that logo. It's so funny because we had another one, and then I, when I wanted to really come out, I came out with that one. We did something totally different, and I was like, this is it. He got people from Disney that helped me with that, and I was just like, wow. So
That's
anyway, you're right
that's
because
a,
I came up with Torry Girl because I'm the girl. You all know, the boys, Joe and Guy,
right.
but you getting to know this female from that brand, from that family name. And you're right, you're the first person that actually gave the best and right answer. So yeah, Toy Girl is more like, hey, we got them Tory boys over there. I love them, support them, they everything to me. But here's this Tory Girl right here. And let me tell you what's behind Tory Girl. You know what I'm saying? And behind Tory Girl is film, theater, media, production, and acting development. And that represents me, my brand, who I am, and it represents just everything that I love to do.
Mm, I love that. Hey, I love that. And hey, shout out to me for being, like you said, the first, talking about, hey,
Yeah,
that's
okay, you
awesome,
had
bro.
yourself on the back. Okay, okay,
Hey,
I got you.
that's my Leo. That's my Leo
I'm about to
moment.
send you a T-shirt for that.
That's my Leo moment.
I know that's right. Right, Leo. So
Hey, actually, we have our first comment, excuse me, of the day. Always glad when people participate, leave comments, just showing that they listening and so forth. We have the famous Mimi Acosta just checked in and said, shout out to Outfit Management and
oh, so
Malaika, One Love.
one love,
Peace,
one
Queen.
love.
Appreciate you, Mimi. Salute, Mimi.
Salute that queen right there. Yes, definitely.
This just said dope logo. It definitely is a dope logo.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Mimi's dope as well. It's
Yeah,
it's
Mimi is
it's the beautiful
very
thing
dope.
is I love seeing that all women are out in this industry taking the storm like we never had before. It's just giving me even more leverage and confidence to feel like, yeah, we got this. But especially as women of color and just being a woman, period. It should never be a competition, but the world has built a different way, society and all of that. And I just
Right.
love to see other women support and shine. And I like that the men are embracing us as well. You know, I joined this organization called Lift, Ladies in Film and Television, based out of Dallas, Texas, but they have other women that are in the different cities like myself that are part of it. And it actually, I became the head of the acting committee um, of that beautiful organization. And it's just me, and it's hard to juggle because I was like, okay, I got Torry Girl, now I'm doing this or whatever. But let me tell you, there's amazing women that support each other. And I met some. It's so funny because I met the person that invited me to this organization. I met them off of IG. I didn't get on IG until last year during the pandemic. I've never was considering. I said one day I'll get on IG, but I just never. I took it lightly. I wish I would have got on sooner because I met you. I've met some amazing people and made some amazing connections. And Dr. Michaela Darson, who's a doctor and a filmmaker and an author, I met her through watching the Comedy Kitchen with my brother. And I'm telling you, we have made an amazing connection. And she's opened my eyes up to a lot of things. Got to join Lyft because of her. And I'm on her Savage Comedy team. And I'm just like, dang, I should have got on IG a long time ago. And I met people from out the country, around the world. It's from music to just, in our acting world here in the United States. It's just, dang, I'm a late bloomer a little bit as far as I always have Facebook, but, I'm just happy to be able to really join the IG family because for me, it's been beneficial,
Hey, well, I was late. I didn't join in 2015.
Oh man, that ain't late. Hush. Yo, please.
Hey, no, it's
I'm
people
joining
who there.
2020 during the pandemic.
People was on there since like 2011. Whenever it started, like they was on it, and
Yeah,
they
I
was
remember
talking
when it
about it, but
started.
I just wasn't receptive.
Because I was always like, dang, do I have to have so many media? Like I'm on Facebook. First MySpace. You remember MySpace? Then it was like something Facebook and then Twitter. And then I was like, okay, I'm not going to be having all these. I don't need to be that accessible or whatever. And then like I said, if I ever get on IG, I'm going to build my brand. And actually, the pandemic was the perfect time for me to really focus on building it. Because I don't know if I would have been that driven if I got on it earlier. But since time kind of stopped everybody a little bit, it made me really tune in. And that's how I got on Comedy Kitchen with my brother. And that was amazing. And because he was having
Yeah.
celebrity chefs and celebrities on it. People would pop in like Cedric Entertainer and Tiffany Haddish and all this. And I was just doing a live to support Guy. You know what I'm saying? And Joe had a live going on. I was like, okay, both of y'all can have them at the same time. Like I can't, I jump like y'all got them at the exact same time. But I was already going to Guys. And then the followers started saying, well, when your little sister gonna be on? I was like, I ain't getting no live. Another doubt. I ain't getting on no live. I'm not a guest like that. I didn't look at myself like that. And they were like, Guy, we want to see your sister. And the guy asked me last minute. And it didn't work out because it was that blackout day. Remember the Ahmaud Arbery case and the George Floyd stuff was going on? And it was a Tuesday where everybody's screen's supposed to go black. He don't do anything. I said, well, Guy, we're supposed to go black tomorrow. It's okay. Well, next Tuesday, you want to do it. I was like, all right. And I was like, oh my God, I'm about to be cooking. I ain't never done a live. I'm new on IG. You got me cooking, interviewing them with you. You just had this big celebrity last week. You got Shantae Moore. You got all these people. And now you want me to be on it. But from what I heard, it was actually the funniest and the best episode that they liked of the Comedy Kitchen. So I was just like, okay, this was fun. So, you just never know. Like you say, you never know. So, long story short, it's a beautiful thing that I've had the connections with being on IG. I made it to be positive, So I just take that with me.
Hey, well, despite you might have been a late bloomer in that particular area, it's definitely working to your benefit, and you've been a pioneer when it comes to improv. You've had years of great experience in helping not only other comedians, continue to evolve like your brother Guy, but as yourself, became a good comedian. Just not something that you really choose to do. But hey, when it comes to just the challenge of juggling all of these things that you do at once with the media girl, with being involved with Lyft, with the women who's all in business and things of that nature. How what's your secret to just like juggling everything and just being here, being there? Because all of these are very important roles that you play.
That's a very good question. I ask myself that a lot because sometimes it's like you're a mad scientist in your head where you can do more than one thing, and I tell people don't be mad that don't embrace that. Just find a way to balance it, and I would say embrace it, but find a way to balance it because I'm actress first, writer, producing just came about more and more, and then the coaching is in me. So all those things because my wheels is always turning and creating that like, oh, this, if they did it this way or if this was done that way. And then you got a career too, a regular 9 to 5 that pay the bills, and then family and kids and things like that. So then it's like, how do I balance it? You just got to put your priorities in line. It's just like at work, when you work a 9 to 5 and you got things that has to be done right away that you got to turn in. You tackle
Mm-hmm.
all the red first, go down to the yellow, and then you go down to the next one. It's like that easy peasy stuff that can wait. You kind of got to prioritize your life like that too. Like, okay, let me tackle this because this is
Right.
immediate. And then you don't want to be too all over the place, but you got to know what's got to be taken care of right away. You got to know
Right.
that first. And then you just use common sense. You win with common sense in life. And my dad used to tell me, God bless his soul, you ain't got no common sense. I don't know how you're going to make it out here in this world. And I was
Mm-hmm.
blessed for him to tell me that when I was little. And, he used to be like, you got more common sense in your pinky finger than 30-year-old. Back then, we thought 30 was old. And I used to be like, well, okay. But common sense, put it into your life with your balance and everything. What makes sense? What works for you? Okay, this ain't getting a lot of attention. Okay, I'm going to come back to you later. I ain't forget about you, but I'm going to come back to this area. But let me get this because this is getting a buzz. And this is important. And that has to be done. Use your common sense and balance in your life. Even if you got more than one talent, you got more than one thing that you want to do, put that common sense in there to weed out the necessary things. And that's what I try to do. And I'm learning too, still to this day. I might have Torry Girl Media ENT, might be with Lyft and all the other things. And my kids are older now, so it's not like I go to school events and stuff like that. But I still find ways to put those in action, like the new things. Like now, Zooms and interviews, those things are starting to be popping thing now and all that. And I just got another something else new under my belt. So some people
That's
don't like the huh?
I'm sorry, excuse me. I'm just wanted to excuse you. I want to interrupt and just that's just all amazing tech, you know what I mean? Because you just never know, the people that you inspire from afar, you know what I mean, when you doing everything that you're doing, and just sometimes when you get up and be like, I don't know if I want to still do this, but I'm gonna keep, just gonna try harder. And I have a perfect comment just as a segue. Mimi just said, you're an inspiration, Malaka, to all us women in this industry. Much success. That's just,
Oh, dang.
and Mimi is
See,
a powerhouse herself. She's a boss. So this is a
I
boss
know.
calling to another
Just
boss.
to,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly. Like I'm actually getting like chills, and then I'm like eyes water a little bit because I know the struggle, and I have days and moments where I feel like and you doubt, or you just like, what, I've been doing this so long, or when I'm going to whatever, and you have to come back. You have to come back into yourself and pull something from the gut, like, no, girl, you got this. And reading inspiring comments, even stuff that I post that's inspirational, it might be like it's for other people, but it be for me too. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm that person who's fighting, who's still trying to. We're human. We're not robots. We're gonna have emotions. We're gonna have moments where we feel, but we can't dwell in that too long. We have to be like, okay, let's get up out this funk. Let's get it together. And people like Mimi, people like Michaela, people like the women from Lyft, and other people around the world, they inspire and like keep it going. Let's go. Let's go. Let's do this. So it helps me, and it feels good to hear and read that because I be needing that. I need that because I got fight in me, but sometimes the enemy can get you down a little bit. Don't listen to it too long.
Absolutely. Can't listen to the enemy. You know what I mean?
So thank
And
you for that. I mean me. But yeah, common sense into your lifestyle. That'll get you where you need to go. You can't lose without that. And risk, take it. It's okay to take a risk. I just learned something from a director of a movie that's out that's really hot right now. Out his own mouth. From the new thing that I'm doing now, with the NAACP. I took his comment and he said, "Obey, you're crazy." And I was like, "Oh my God." From hearing him say that, this guy who directed this movie called The Harder They Fall is a first-time director. That's an inspiration for me because look at his cast. You got Regina King, who's like family to my family, her personally. You have Idris Elba. You got the other guy with Lakefield. His I can't think of his last name, but I follow him. And all these other newcomers in there, and it's like this guy's from the UK, Black African American. Well, I don't know where he's from, but he's a Black guy, and he's from the UK. He's directed this movie for the first time. He's the producer. He composed all the music, and he's written this movie. And it's like, look at it, and that was inspiring right there. And the last thing he said when we were watching him talk about his film and the passion from it was, "Obey, you're crazy." That's his quote, not my quote. But I was like, you know what? Because we always have crazy things in our head. We do. And we kind of don't want to listen to them. Even the doubts, like the doubts I told you before, like, oh, man, don't pick me or whatever. Obey, you're crazy. And obey, I'm going to come back and say, obey your confidence. Because sometimes we have it and sometimes we don't. And that just came to me right now. You know what I'm saying?
I heard that. Excuse me. I like that. Obey your confidence.
So, yeah, we have to, because we can fall short in so many ways. One thing can change. I've had some issues this year that took me by storm, and I was like, oh my God, this can't be happening. I got so many beautiful things happening to me. Why is this happening? And they're starting to pan out. So, I love what he said. He closed with "Obey, you're crazy," because sometimes that crazy might just win you something big in life.
I heard that. And Mimi said the devil was a lie.
That's right. Absolutely. I did some filming with someone from Jacqueline Hilton. I did it with her a couple of days ago, and she has a TV show. And we had someone come and pray over, the moment when we were there, and it was just like, you got to put that in too. You got to put prayer into every situation and every scenario. Don't think you're going to make it with just be like, oh, I wish. Yeah, think positive. But prayer, having that right here and putting it up there, you got to have that in the whole works of what you try to do out here in life. My mama is a praying woman. She's a prayer warrior. People call her from all around the world. I mean, not the world, but from all over. My brother is always calling her. Her prayers are she's like I don't know, her and God, they just best friends. Along with probably a lot of other people, but her prayers are like something deep. And I learned from her just to be like, you cannot go nowhere without prayer. Like you gotta prosper out here. And in whatever way you believe, your belief system, everybody got a different way. But I know me, I add that too. So balanced life, common sense, and prayer, and just go with it. And a little bit of "Obey, you're crazy," the quote I picked up recently.
I love that. Shout out to the Most High, real, for the one time. Shout out to the Most High all the time.
That's right.
Because,
All praises.
always on time. You know what I mean? And he definitely has been on time for you, because the thing is, it's like, and do you feel this way too? Like, that's how I feel. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, when you do something, it's like it's going to be when you're ready to do it. Like, I can put off, like, okay, I'm going to write this book tomorrow, but I don't end up writing the book, say, 2 years from now. But when I write it, you know what I'm saying, it was when I was supposed to write it. So how does that relate to you in your life? To the things that you have been accomplishing, and let's talk about something I have flashed with you recently, being part of the Image Awards, NAACP Image Awards. Congratulations, because that's like huge.
Yeah, but thank you. Being a part of the nominating award committee is really a blessing. It's new. I'm just learning. We just actually started this past week, and I was out of town, and they were like, "Okay, y'all ready to go? We need y'all or whatever." And I was like, "Oh shoot, I'm about to go hang out at my college, homecoming." But I had time. I was like, "Okay, let me do this. Balance. I got time." I was on a different time zone. I got on that, they said, okay, I'm slated for this time, but I was like, okay, it's just an hour behind, so I'll go ahead. And I did it. And I was like, and I fit that in because I'm like, oh no, I ain't letting this up. This is a blessing right here. So I'm happy to be part of this, and I just can't wait for more and more that's to come with that. And the thing about like putting things off, I know I've been a procrastinator. That's something I know that I had to learn to really stop procrastinating. 2020 really woke me up, probably woke up a lot of people. I know it did. It made me realize life in so many different ways because I was like, I grew up. I thought I was grown before 2020. But with 2020 hit, I grew up. When I say I grew up in 2020, I grew up because that's when I saw that, whoa, life is something else. And we had to get ourselves together. The way what we saw before our eyes, the way everybody was experiencing the same thing at the same time. I told my kids, I said, look, this ain't nothing that I can say, yeah, this happened a long time ago. I know what we're going through. I'm going through this with y'all at the same time. Like we experiencing this whole thing together. This is nothing I can say that, oh, I remember when I was in 5th grade, this happened so many years ago. No, baby. We're doing this together because this is new for me. And I grew up. I grew up in 2020 more than I've ever grown. And I was doing things that I said, baby girl, you better get it. You better get this. You better order that. You better take care of this. You better do this and just do it regardless of whatever situation. So I did the IG thing. I got all my equipment for my film equipment and all those things. And I was like, get it together. You know what I'm saying? While we're going through with the world together, get yourself together at the same time. And, and then 21 was like, all right, now I'm taking this. We still a little apprehensive about certain things, but it's like, okay, you got the go button, but you're still a little leery, but still just go. And now 2022, I just was like, you know what? Yeah, it's on. I have a project, and when later, I'm gonna tell you about my project that I'm working on, and then if you want to ask me any other questions, I know we've been going on for a minute though, but procrastination was something I had to learn because that was really something I had,
Yeah, I was learned, or taught, I should say, or reminded, I should say, because, and I say it like that because, it's like we really never taught anything. We're just reminded of what was already been instilled into us, passed down from wherever it's been passed down, the ancestors, the sky, most high, it's been passed down. It's like within us, the truth, what we already know. That's the common sense part of us. You know what I'm saying? Just listening to yourself. But with that being said, damn, I got so deep, Malaika, I don't know what I was saying.
It's okay. It's all good. It's all good.
But no, I like you in that red though. That you look really nice. Is that your color? Is that like your go-to? Like
no, it's probably like I may have one other red outfit and I didn't even know what I was gonna put on today. And I was like, I was gonna wear black, and I said it's always easy go to. But I was like, okay, I'm a chocolate girl. I'm on film camera. Let me put on not black where it just make me whatever. Black is saves the day. It slims you out. You look like mysterious. But let me just open it. And I was like, what am I gonna put on? And I went in the closet and I was like, because I was gonna take this on my trip, and I didn't. And I was like, you know what? This is what I will wear today. So thank you. I don't have a lot of red. It's my middle daughter's favorite color, but thank you. I guess it works. So I appreciate that.
No, you look really nice in red.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so now, thank you for telling us a little bit about, your being part of the committee with the Image Awards and everything. I was curious, how that came about myself. But with that being said, still, Tory Girl Entertainment Media, is there like a staff with this, or is this something that you run yourself, or are you hiring, or are you looking for people right now, or?
It's so funny. I have people ask me, DM me and ask me about hiring. Um, I won't say no, but right now it's just me. And really, why is this me? Because I really came out more. I really put Tory Girl into the real footwork in 2020. Even though it was birthed 5 years ago, but I really was like, okay. But I do hire contractors here and there. You know what I'm saying? But there's no one that I just have consistently. But I will be, because I'm having my first film, Keeping Up with Life, shining, grinding, and still trying. That's going to be in production. It's actually in production. I have features in it. I'm a feature, and I have different people from all walks of life telling their story about keeping up with life, their story, their backstory. And it's going to end up turning into a docu-series. But I got some amazing people. My brother's got in it. I have different people from all musicians. I got people from out the country that's in it. I got someone who was a refugee and telling the story, keeping up with life. Because everybody got their story. Everybody has that. And I feel like, I always consider myself sometimes like, hey, I'm the underdog, but you don't sleep on the underdog, because they're always coming for you. And I always like to tell that story. And it has so much color in it. I have a bit of my spoken word in it. You won't see me really performing it, but you'll hear it in between the takes of each guest. And it's a piece. I'm gonna do that piece one day. I'm gonna post it online. I keep saying that, but I'm into it. It's one of my favorite pieces that I used to get a lot of requests for, called "It Ain't Easy," and I'm gonna perform it one day. But yeah, that's basically the works. And I have a couple of TV shows that's actually in the waiting under review, but it's got to some people. One of them is starring my brothers, and then the other one is some more. I'm looking for a cast, and I have a real story, a real true life basketball story about a legend. So it's so many different things that I got underway. But first one is Keeping Up with Life, that goes back to balance. I got to put that out first, and then everything else is gonna come right behind it. And I still do private acting coaching. I had children and one-on-ones and things like that. But Torry, that's why I say Torry Girl represents a lot. We represent film production, acting development, and theater. I'll never let theatrics go. That's where I started. That's what stole my heart. So
Absolutely, I love that. You got to know where your passion is and stick with it, because that's like what you lean on when times get rough or confusing. Sometimes, out here, because I'm a person that do a lot of multiple array of things as well. But I love them all, though. You know what
I
I'm saying?
love that. I see that. I saw that with you. I was like, you got a lot going on, but that's a good thing. It's we got to embrace everything that God gave us. Point blank. That's it. Everything God gave us, we got to embrace it.
I appreciate that. Appreciate it. And this is actually the last thing Mimi said, kind of just going back into what you were saying. Us artistic souls are a bit cray-cray, but we got this. The best comes out of us as a result. God got us. Indeed,
That's right. That's right. She's speaking true words. She's speaking the real right there. It's the truth. It's the truth. And all of us have it. It's never, I tell my middle daughter, she used to always say, I don't have a talent, when she was younger. Or, her sister could sing and she could make clothes, and she just found hers earlier. My baby girl was really, really good at basketball, and she was good in math and all this. And I tell my little one, Malia, I said, you got talent. You have to find it and tune in. And I would give her stuff that I thought she was good at. But I was like, I want you to recognize it. I want you to own that and say. And now she's doing amazing at the things that she found that she could do. And she's taken off beautifully. And I was like, I'll never kill them. I will never kill nobody's spirit. I'm never going to have that on my soul. I'm not going to knock nobody down, tear nobody down. I'm going to build you up. I don't ever want you to feel like you're less than or someone else is bigger and better than you. No. No, I didn't create that. You got to believe that, though.
That's right. We got to believe it. It starts with us. You know what I mean? Now, at any time, could you say or that it was ever become intimidating when you just getting out of high school, you trying to find your way, and your brothers is already taking off, and they taking off big time, like what I mean, not in a small way. Tory, Joe Torry, what I'm saying? He's with Janet Jackson making movies. Then you got Guy Torry, like you say, is in Hollywood that's opening the door for up and coming, comics such as Chris Tucker and Dave Chappelle and people of that nature. You know what I mean? Was that like intimidating for you to like, what should I do? Or should I even get into this entertainment because they kind of got that sold up?
So funny you asked me. That's a very good question. And the answer is no. I intimidate myself more than anything. And it's nerves on certain things. Some things when you feel not confident about. I'm my biggest enemy. The thing about it is, growing up, I was supposed to be the actress of the family. Joe wasn't involved in anything like that. Guy wasn't. My mom would put us in little things that she had going on. But Guy was, when I tell you Guy was my biggest cheerleader, he really was. And he would tell you that. And I get embarrassed when they say, this is my baby sister. She's more talented than all of us. She got the most talented. And they'll say it I have on tape. They'll say it when they introduce me, even still big grown selves. I'm out in Hollywood with them, and they introduce me to people. Did you know my little sister? Do you know she? And I just be like, dang, do you have to say that? Just say, hey, this is my little sister Malaika. You ain't got to give them a whole backstory of like, it's embarrassing because I'm like, well, she, why you, that's my thing I have to deal with. But when my brothers got into it, they got out the house before me. So I did all this performing in high school and all this stuff. Went on to school. By the time I was a freshman in college, or a sophomore or whatever, Joe started doing. He left when I was in high school. I was 11, in the junior in high school. He got on the Apollo where he killed it. That just took off. He was on extra in Harlem Nights, and then he got on shows. And back then, nobody was texting. We didn't have all that. He was sending us letters in the mail, writing us letters. After he graduated from college, he was like, "I'm going to LA. I'm gonna do comedy." And we was like, "Huh? What? You doing comedy? When? How?" He was a clown. He was a clown always, but he never been in no plays or none of that. Yeah. And I was like, you don't go out there to Cali. It's gonna be so many people out there. You're not gonna like, he got out there selling door to door, vacuum cleaners. He had his college degree or whatever. And then he met Robert Harris, and he took him under his wings, and Joe just took off like that. So we were proud. So he would send us letters of him on the set, Harlem Nights with Red Fox and Richard Pryor. My daddy would have him in his drawer. He had him on his dresser because those are people in his era. And he was just like, oh my God. And Joe said, yeah, I'm going to be on the set. Then it would change. Oh, I'm going to be on Amen. Oh, I'm going to be on Hunter. And it would just get bigger and bigger. And I'm like, oh, wow. This is really taking off. So by the time I went to college, Guy was still in school. He left college. And I was in college because he said, I'm going to LA. Don't tell nobody. I'm going to do comedy. Don't even tell Joe. Joe didn't know that either. So Guy started doing comedy, and he said it. He says it. He bombed the first time he ever got on stage. He practiced all his jokes. He got on in St. Louis, and he forgot all his lines. Then he went up to LA. Joe thinking he was going to come stay with him and go to college, finish school, and go to UCLA. And Joe would tell the story. He was like, people kept saying, yeah, I saw you here. I saw you there. And he was like, where? And Guy was sneaking in his closet, getting his clothes and going to different clubs and doing comedy. He didn't tell Joe. Then it finally just came out in the wash. I was just happy for them. Me, naturally, I'm not a competitor. My brothers and siblings, except for my oldest sister, they all compete. My brother Ramon, Joe, Guy, and my sister, they're competitors. I don't compete. I'm just not a competitor. I don't really care. I want all of us to shine. I'm not saying that they don't want other people to shine. I'm just not that type of person. I feel like, hey, my talent is here. I can go just like you. It's enough for all of us. So I really was happy, even though I was like, oh, this is going to be the actress of the family, but I was still a young kid. They got out. They went and jumped in something that nobody knew. They took off. And I was just proud. I'd be so proud. Like, I just be like happy. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it never did nothing for me. Like, is it intimidating? Then the comedy thing might be the only thing. And Guy hates when I say that, but that might be the only thing where I might say a little intimidating because I just feel like that's not my era. But I could write comedy and have a whole bunch of jokes and crack myself up and do well. And then I say, you know what, I'm gonna try it. And then I don't even go do it. Even though I did well in LA. Now I will talk myself out of it and say no. But my people to this day say, girl, you are funny. You need to do stand up. I feel like I can be more of a comedic actress than just do the stand up because my confidence,
Yeah.
that thing is no joke. Getting on that stage, doing it night after night, going to club after club, that's a gift. And I feel like I can use my gifts in other ways. So no, I let them. I want them to have that floor. That's for them. What's for you is for you. So
Right.
no, there's no entertainment. When the intimidating things is my own insecurities I have. It ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. And that's my thing that I work. I have to battle and deal with the honest statement. But yeah, so no.
Okay. Okay. No, I appreciate that because it's hard to I mean I can't imagine what I mean I do have two older sisters particularly like it's the opposite for me. I have two older sisters I look up to. No, I don't have any other siblings. Two older sisters. I'm the last and only son, but they're really extraordinary themselves. You know what I mean? I have one sister that works in corporate America and everything, and
Mhm.
really
Mhm.
successful. And then my other sister, she's successful what she's doing, and she had the only child, being the only grandchild, and he became very successful. He just second lieutenant from West Point military school. Shout out to Xavier. But yeah, so just
Shout
like
out.
me, I gotta, you know, but so I don't know, but I kind of wanted to kind of go in the opposite fields that they were in, personally. Like I didn't want to be in like the same field. This is a similar, but still just competitive.
I totally understand. I have a brother too that was in the military too. Lieutenant Colonel, my oldest brother, teacher, my sister's teachers, my mom was a retired teacher, and then you got Joe and Guy, you got me. I had to build a career in the banking career, and I had to travel with work, and I had to really. I started from the bottom in that career, and I went real fast with that because I had a family. I had to like take time off and leave, not do anything in my passion. So I was always in and out. So I get it. And I feel like, whatever I made choices in life was my choices. Whether I like them or not, there's nobody's like fault or whatever. Like, oh, you could have been if I probably lived in LA, I probably know if I would have moved and stayed there, I know I would have been probably way ahead of where I wanted to be. But right now, whatever God had put in my path, it is what it is. I took it, and then now I think I'm in a good spot right now. So
Absolutely, and I'm very proud of the spot that you worked hard to be in. You know what I mean?
thank you. I
Very,
appreciate it. It hasn't
yeah,
always been easy.
absolutely. Yeah, I can't imagine. You know what I mean? But at this time, let me go ahead and just shout out, both your brothers, give them their proper respect too, because you're the third person in the family that I've had the pleasure now of interviewing. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So if I may, you know what I mean? And they both was on the same platform, but separate times, period. That's what's kind of weird. But shout out to Ray Mayfield, and he was hosting great concerts at Governor State University, and that's where I first had the pleasure of meeting your oldest brother, Joe Torry, and
Okay.
that was just during after there was a riot in Missouri, and that's what we basically spoke about. You know what I mean? So I got to speak about an interview with him about something because usually people always want him to crack jokes and things of that nature. He's a comedian, great comedian. But this was something where he really opened up and was like very serious about, the community of St. Louis and Missouri and just, me, in the death of I think it was Mike Brown
Mhm.
who had got killed at the time. And so, that's what basically the topic was about. But something that struck me that I remember from the interview that he said is, he was like, everything's like, um, you know, just like that pimple in your face, now everything's focused, just like everyone's focused on you, just like that pimple in his face. Now that, in reference as an analogy, the awareness now is bringing to, all the killings that's been happening that, you know what I mean, because it's now it's been recorded and televised more, you know what I mean, but like just using that as an analogy, a pimple on your face, like, you know, he was like, now people paying
Yeah,
attention to that all of a sudden. Um,
absolutely.
then also real quick, shout out to Guy Torry. I interviewed him at Chicago State University, and that was also, like I say, through Ray Mayfield. He put that together, and I think the Isley Brothers had performed that night. Yeah, the Isley Brothers performed that night. They were the opening act. He was
Wow.
another headliner, Guy Torry. And so I interviewed him backstage, and something that I took away that he said to me, he told me that because I was like, I gotta keep trying. He was like, no, don't try, just do. He's like, don't
Yeah,
try,
sound like
just
him.
do.
Yes, he always correcting you when you say stuff like that. Yes, and I'd be like, okay, let me watch what I say.
Yeah, he's like, don't try, just do it. You just do it. You know, don't stop trying and just do it. You know what I mean? And I took that. And I can say that I definitely ran with that. You know what I mean? From that point on, you know, I stepped it up, up a level. You know what I mean? From where I was in my life. You know what I mean? And just taking it to heart to what he said, because he said it with passion. And you know, when people say things with passion, it's just like it
Hmm.
strikes you. You know what I mean? Someone can
Yes.
be strung out on drugs or a gambler or whatever. It's just like sometimes it's like they in zombie mode, or I can be in zombie mode myself because I've suffered
Hmm.
from other things. You know, habits. We all have habits. You know what I mean? But I never taken crack cocaine, nothing like that.
No,
But
I
you
feel
know,
you. We ain't
it's
perfect. We're
just
not perfect out here. We all every day, one day at a
yeah,
time, are just becoming a better who we are. So no, I no judgment over here.
yeah, no judgment. Like we all go through whatever, because at the same time, whenever you get over that addiction, that's when it was your time to get over that addiction. You know what I'm saying? Because you learned whatever it is that you had to learn through that time period when you were in that zombie mode, basically. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? That's how
yeah.
I feel.
Agree, agree, agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Those.
Now,
I'm glad you got a chance to meet them. That was really cool.
yeah, no, that was really awesome. And then, like I say, and then it's kind of weird, but still incredible how I have a chance to meet you, but it's virtual first. And I
I
met them in person.
know, I know, I know, I know. The world we live in, I tell you,
Yeah,
it
it's
made a
very
lot of
strange.
changes. Yep, but we have to take now. We got to roll with it, however we can, basically. And that's why I was talking about 2020, how we had to learn from things that we wasn't expecting to learn from, and it worked in our favor. And some things we lost a lot of people. God, oh my God, we lost so many people. So heartbreaking,
Yeah,
but you know, it's just we got to keep it. We got to keep going on with life and just pray and just keep pushing.
yeah. And with that being said, um, I was saddened today to find out earlier we lost another young brother, young king. You know, in this industry. You know, very
Hmm.
famous young dog got shot to death today, unfortunately.
Oh my goodness.
In
I saw
Memphis.
something, his face stroll up right before I got on, and I didn't get a chance to read it. And I was like, I gotta check this when we get done with the interview. Because it was like, I was like, okay, I gotta go get off Instagram. And I saw it stroll up, and I looked and I was like, okay, I'm gonna come back to this. But I didn't know it was actual death. I just saw it. I remember seeing that face, but I hate to hear that. I really, really do. God bless his soul and his prayers out to his family.
Yeah, absolutely. He was, you know, very, very talented. A superstar. He's a superstar rapper. You know what I mean? Everyone, you know, he's very famous, and I'm just, you know, sad that, you know, it's just another senseless
Senseless.
death. You know what I mean?
Oh,
With these guns, with the shootings, you know, and then, you know, it's like, and so this was my rebuttal to that. I just went on and just uploaded it. But this is what I said on Facebook, because this is how I feel. I say, they say money is the root of all evil, but I say no, jealousy is the root of all evil. We need to stop practicing being mad at each other over success and where, because I feel like that's where it derives from. In my opinion, we need to really start loving each other.
yeah,
You know,
that's a true
I think
statement.
that's, I think that's what's really going on out here. You know, we just
Yeah,
jealous of one another in the black community. You know what I mean? Especially, and it's just like it's unbelievable, and it's pitiful because our ancestors, our grandmothers, our parents worked too hard for us to, be in the position that we in, to pave the way for us to just be out here and just killing each other over because he got something better or he's more popular, she's more famous or she has more likes or, she, with the man that I wanted and he's with the girl that I wanted or whatever the case may be, like, it's just so crazy.
It's very unfortunate, and I hate that. That's one thing I know. I'm not a jealous person. Social media is a beautiful thing, but then it could be a bad thing for some people who use it the wrong way, and it has made a lot of people so insecure even more just because they see. And the true statement we would say, only people are only showing their highlights. They're not showing all their highs and lows and things like that. So don't get so caught up in what everybody has. And I'm not a materialistic person, so we all like nice things here and there, but it's nothing I would die for. So it's like, I know my flaws. I fix what I need to fix, and what can't be fixed, I just embrace it and keep it moving. Every day is a lesson where you have to you gotta deal with life in your own way, but not to be envious and jealous of somebody. You can be like, oh man, that's nice. Okay, congratulations. I'm happy for you. You don't have to say, oh, why you got that? Or make little shade jokes to just jab them, but it's really not a compliment. You're hating and throwing salt, and it's like, I don't have time for that. That's what goes back to say, I'm not a competitor. I don't compete with nobody. I feel like we all can shine. Like I'm dope too. You dope, I'm dope. All right, we dope. That's it.
Right.
So that's who I am. That's how my motto.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like, I'm not, I use my platform, work hard to try to salute other people, build things so I can highlight other people that's not in the position to meet the people that I have the pleasure of meeting. To open up these doors for other people to follow through.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel like it's all about.
Absolutely.
Like what we're supposed to be doing out here. But yeah, sorry, Mimi, I'm missing a couple of comments. I'm not on time. I'm kind of late. But earlier, Mimi had said, 2020 made us really reinvent ourselves fast. Earlier
She's
when we were
right.
thinking about the pandemic.
She's right. That's why I said I grew up. I thought I was grown. I thought I was grown. Kids are big. Did this in life. Traveled. Working as a bank consultant. I worked for different banks around the U.S. and I lived in New York for 2 years. I came back home in December 2019, right before the pandemic hit. I still have my house here, but I was, traveling. And I was based in New York. And shout out to New York. I love New York City. But it's a true statement when I say I grew up in 2020 more than I've ever had. I went through some growing pains with everybody else, but I had to buckle up and pull my bar stacks up and say, this is what it is, because we were forced to do what we had to do and grow up even more as an adult. I did. So, yeah, you reinvent yourself. You have to. You had to. You have no choice,
Yeah, no, and I learned a lot about myself too. It just, it was just it made you look in the mirror. You had no choice to ignore that mirror in your house anymore. You know what I mean? You had to really look yourself in the eye, look yourself in your soul.
We do. We trying to ignore that mirror sometimes. That's a true statement.
Yeah, really though, like that's how it be. But you gotta it really made us like put everything on the table. It showed us everything in our lives that's on the table and what's
and the thing about
on the table. Yeah, go ahead, please.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I just want to say you said it showed because everybody was dealing with the same thing, no matter what level you were on in life, status,
Right.
financial, whatever's it was. Nobody was exempt from nothing. I mean, you're not in life anyway, period. I always say, ain't nobody exempt from anything. But that showed that everybody was at stake with everything that was going on. So,
Yeah, everything was shown and, and why and how to get things balanced. Like everything was put in front of us. It gave us a challenge to balance things out if we wanted to, if we willing to accept the challenge.
Like my dad was a Clint Eastwood fan growing up. He loved all his movies. And I remember he used to love this movie called The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. It used to come on all the time. And so
That's my
I
bad.
just made me think of, yeah, like The
Real.
Good, the Bad, and the Ugly was all at one time, 2020. But yeah, I just thought about that.
Yeah, no, that took me back to my childhood as soon as you said it. 'Cause my dad used to be like, Michael, come watch this movie. Come watch this movie. And I'm like, what's it called? The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. I'm like, that's a
Yeah,
stupid
he's
name.
always, yep. Used to watch them with him. But yeah, so you learned a little bit about me, well, a lot about me actually. So I'm exposed. Hey,
I'm sorry, that's what we do over here on this show.
it's
You know
all
what I'm
good.
saying? We celebrate and,
It,
you know what I mean, everything like out the closet.
that's right.
But
Here we
hey,
are.
but no, for real though, for real. All jokes aside, you know what I mean? There's nothing like having good friends, people that got your back out here, people that you trust. You know what I mean? Just show a
hmm
picture of a recent picture you took with some of your friends.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
we've been friends for a very, very, very long time. From college, our young teenagers going into adulthood, we became women together. We really did. So that was one of the reasons why I was like, I would like to go every now and then. I don't get to go to all homecomings, but like those girls right there, we got some stories.
y'all know each other's secrets.
Yeah, we can't tell them secrets though, but we know some. I'm about to cut you.
All right, we have a beautiful young lady rocking one of your shirts.
That's actually the CEO of Lyft, ladies and
Oh,
film and
okay.
television. Yep, Jeanette. That's Jeanette right there. She's also an acting coach, everything. J Studios, Jeanette Greenwood. Um, they're actually having a meeting tonight, so I'll be jumping on that call. But yeah, she's the CEO.
Okay, no
She's
doubt.
done a lot of amazing things too.
Okay, absolutely. Shout out to her. Salute, salute.
Salute.
Now also before while I still got the time and before you get tired of talking, you know what I mean? If I could get you, you know what I mean, to speak about, what you'll be doing with, the publication that I just launched, just, you know what I mean, this past Thursday, 11/11. Again, shout out to everybody that was involved, everybody that showed up and supported, everyone that performed, and even the short interview that I did, you know what I mean? And just everybody, much love, salute. But Malaka, if you could just speak about, what your role would be, with this publication.
Doing the reviews on movies, and I don't know if you had me want to do reviews on other things, but yeah, I don't know if you want me to share which one or you want it to be a surprise or whatever. What movie I'm going to do my first review on, but
Oh, well,
I'm
sure. Go
excited.
ahead and give us one hint. I mean, give us one movie if you don't mind.
Well, actually, the movie is really was supposed. I guess it was meant to happen because I said I wanted to do it on the harder they fall. And then I end up having to, the beauty of it, I had a chance to actually meet virtually the actual person who's the director, the producer, the writer, and composer of the movie. And I already told you that I was going to do that movie. I didn't know that was going to happen until days later, after
What?
the fact, to really find out his passion and backstory. I already was passionate about the movie because I look at other things than just the script and the why and the how and the ooh and the acting and the like ooh. So I'm already there. And the music, and I love how he. I don't want to spill the beans. Whoever haven't seen it yet. But I guess that was meant to be because I was like, oh my God, that's the first one I have to review. I just told you I was going to review that, write that interview. And then I got to get to see and listen to him try to win us over to tell us, the story and what came from it, why. And it's beautiful. So yeah, that's what's up
Nice,
next.
nice. And I appreciate this. Appreciate this. And again, also, I was gonna get to that. Thank you for the reminder, Mimi. I slipped. I was slipping on my pencil. How can they buy them beautiful T-shirts that the young lady was wearing?
I have some left. Whoever wants one, they can get the T-shirt for me. Don't worry. 2022, they'll go back on sale. But right now, I have some. I can send a complimentary one, and we will talk about 2022, the merch. I have mugs, like water bottles, face masks, and the shirts. So definitely, I have more merch for 2022. But Mimi want one? She got it. I owe you one too. So don't worry.
Yes, I'm definitely gonna rock it. I was gonna feel some
Thank
type of
you.
way. You fit my guest weather, and then send me
Hey,
one.
my mama just
I'm just
got one
saying.
in September. That's what's so funny.
Okay.
I
Oh,
was supposed to
damn.
mail it to her. I finally, she don't.
No, that's all good.
Thank you. Thanks for asking too, me and you. So I got you. I got y'all. Don't worry.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Now, also, you've been celebrated on the front of this publication right here. Can you speak a little?
Oh
Now that was.
my goodness. Wow. Me making it look like I got a lot of stuff going on. Come on, don't do that. Don't do
Hey,
that.
we out here celebrating you today. That's what it's about. I'm celebrating you.
Thank
That's what
you.
we're doing here.
Now I'm like, oh God, now I'm blushing like for real. That blew me away. And actually, that picture was from my first photo shoot with Derek Blanks. He's a known photographer out of Atlanta. That's amazing. He works with. He just did Missy Elliott, her videos. He's Viola Davis. I mean, go Google him and you will see everybody that he's done and work with. So I actually got an opportunity to work with him through this bonus deal, and it was beautiful. And that's one of the pictures that they used for the cover because I took those earlier this year, and the CEO you just showed me, Jeanette Greenwood, texted me at 2 in the morning. Excuse me. And she said, "We're gonna use you for the cover of Lift, our first quarterly magazine." And I looked like I was trying to look at my phone, like, am I seeing the right thing? And I was like, the emoji that the head blows off, like I was like,
Right.
oh my God, really? And there we are. So that was an honor. That was an honor. Hey, anybody else want to use me? I'm fine. I'm okay with that. Never thought I'd say that, but that's my bashful side. But hey, why not?
I heard that. I heard that.
I
You look
appreciate
great in
it.
your color.
See what makeup can do for a person.
Nah, that's natural right there. I can see it. Nah, that's a beautiful
Thank
picture,
you.
though.
Thank you.
Great
I
job. And
appreciate
just a
that.
beautiful
Thank you.
cover. Congratulations to be on the cover anytime. That's a huge compliment.
I really
And
appreciate that. Thank you.
if someone wants to have you to represent their business.
Yeah,
Now,
I was surprised too, but I was honored and blessed.
right.
That
See, now I found some more great, great pictures, that you've been trying to have. But
was in New
I
York.
was going, okay,
I was
what was going on
supporting
in New York?
I was supporting a colleague of mine who was in banking. She started her own lingerie line, and she was invited me. Well, one of my close friends was friends with her, and then I got to know her through them. And we went to. I was in New York at the time, working and living, and I love that. That's one thing about in my career in baking. A lot of people always have other side businesses because I'm a consultant, and
Right.
it was just kind of like dope. And I was like, wow, she's doing very well with her lingerie line. Beautiful girl, beautiful sister. And I was like, oh, I'm going. So I went to the lunch. That was her lunch party.
Okay. Okay. So you gonna get back into doing some modeling?
I I never really modeled. I feel like I'm probably the worst person to model because I always like when you stand and pose. I'm kind of like, okay, I'm supposed to do something. I feel like a little awkward stage, and it's so funny because I know I had taken tons of pictures, but there's always a story behind those pictures. But because I'm always like, oh my God, hurry up and take the picture. It's so I guess I get an awkward moment, but that was a good shot. I posted that when I posted that on Facebook that year I took it. It was in a group of pictures. And that one picture I think if you get so many likes out of one picture in a group on Facebook, then it just becomes a solo picture because they got so many likes. And I was like, why is this coming up by itself? Because this was in a group of pictures I posted at one time. And that one picture that I added to Instagram a year or two later that you just showed, that had so much exposure. And I was like, oh, so I guess it was a good shot.
Yeah, no, I think it wasn't like the first picture was in a group of pictures, and I found it when I was scrolling through some of your pictures.
Oh my God, yeah. So yeah, so. Yeah, but the girl actually, her lunch party, she's a model.
Oh yeah. Also, oh yeah, Mimi said that's the date. Malaika, I will rock it for you, referring to your shirt.
Tell her I will be honored. Both of you guys rock it. Thank you.
Definitely, it's gonna be love, none but love. Very nice shot in reference to your front cover. That was. Now, also, I know you have a show now. Is this still active? Are you still doing this? Talk with me.
That was created for 2020, and then we got hit. I was supposed to launch that in March 2020, but what we experienced in 2020, I took a seat back. But I'm kind of glad because I wasn't even on IG at the time. So I now that I build up rapport and people following, I'm still working on it, and relationships, I will revisit that because I'm able to I got an idea in the head how I want to do the show. So that will be coming out a little later, but it's not dead. It's just pushed to the side. Like one of those things I was telling you, sometimes you gotta be like, okay, I ain't gonna forget about you, but yeah, Talk With Me is still in the works.
Absolutely.
But I'm glad that I didn't do it because I went on Instagram. So the best thing I learned by watching 2020, taking things in, seeing other shows and podcasts. So it's for a later time. It was meant to be on hold. So I'm glad. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Like I say, it's all meant to happen exactly when it's supposed to, and then it feels right.
Yep. Me, you, and the mic. Talk with me. Me, you, and the mic.
Yeah, I like that. I really like that. Because it's kind of in relation to I said it. It's saying talk. So it really stood out to me. So I was like, that's dope. I want to see
that. You got me on that one. You pulled that one out. Okay.
No, it's just cousins. I ain't saying, nobody took nothing. I'm just saying it's dope.
You like making me look good over here. Okay, I like you. I like this. You okay? All right, not
bad. No, for real though. You doing your thing. You've been doing your thing. You just it's time the people, know your name. Now, what was this project? The members night out.
That's when I met all the members from Lyft. I went out to when the pandemic really started, kind of released a little bit. Not well, it didn't, but like they started opening things up. I went out there because I joined in January, and I went out in June and had a meetup with everyone, and that was an amazing trip because I got to meet the members of Lyft. And then that same weekend, Dr. Michaela, which is she's also the one that introduced me to Lyft, and she's also part of the CEO of Pink Smoke. It's a cigar brand. I went out to Dallas recently to support her for that, probably about 3 weeks ago, and I hung out with her and her publicist. Got a chance to hang out with Vivica Fox that whole weekend. I mean, from that weekend, I know Vivica from years ago with my brother Joe and stuff like that, but it had been years since I seen her. So we did this brunch thing in Dallas, and we had a great time. So that was a very good weekend. I had a chance to even meet some other people. I'm building some really great relationships in Dallas, like really, really good ones.
Yeah, I mean, in this industry, it's really important. That's as I found out that early, just building relationships with people. And you'll eventually find people that you're on the same accord with, on the same page with, and who you all can really, build together. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you just gotta keep trying because so many people out here networking, but not everybody is networking to the that's gonna help benefit, you know, looking at it in your best interest as well.
No, you're
Some
right.
people
And
don't
the
do
thing
that.
about it with me, I don't. A lot of people always say you don't never just throw your name out there. You never say you're Joe and got Torry sister. Like most people introduce me before I introduce myself as their sister, and
Right.
and I don't never like just try to like it depends on the conversation. I might I'll bring their name up or like whatever, but like or situations, but it's never my first thing on my mind or whatever.
Right.
I'm because I'm like I'm Malaka, you know what I'm saying? I'm talented too. My brothers are brilliant. I love them, but then here's me too, and I always look at that too. But I don't mind you can bring it up. You can tell the world, it's okay. But at the end of the day, I still have to bring something to the table at the same, no matter who I'm related to. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
at the end of the day, you can be their blood or whatever, but I still have to shine with my talent. I still have to prove and show you, what I'm worth and what I got. So, um, I'm just not a competitor like that, and I still try to make my own way. It's okay. It's nice to have the connections, and I'm not gonna lie and say that. But I kind of make it hard for myself sometimes too, because sometimes I go around the corner and I could have just walked right through. So sometimes I gotta like figure that out to myself because I'm used to just doing everything by myself and saying, no, I got this. I can do this. I don't have to, because I want to show you my worth just by just saying a name. I'm still Malaka, and then that comes afterwards. Oh yeah, yeah. Joe and God, my brothers too. That's how I look at it.
Right. That's however it is for you to help, you know, however you move, you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah, I
respected.
mean,
It's
sometimes hey,
respected because
it works
no one can
sometimes.
relate. No one can relate to what you're saying because no one walks those shoes to have the brothers of Joe Torry and Guy Torry for all that they've done, in this industry.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I respect them for that. I really do because they did pave the way for a lot of people. I know a lot of stories behind the scenes of some people
Yeah.
who've made. Yeah, I ain't gonna
Tell us a
tell the
goofy
dirt,
story. Tell us a
but
goofy
no, no,
story.
no, 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 no. I'm not gonna do that. You got me on tape too. No, I can't do that. But I will say they helped pave the way for a lot of people, and some people, they forget about that. But I give my props to them because I know their story. I know what I know what Joe did for St. Louis. He gave a lot. He taught people how to give back to St. Louis before they were even big. You know what I'm saying? Joe started a foundation that lasted over 10 years where he gave back to the community, the kids. He would have a celebrity basketball game every year, and every celebrity from Shaq to Shamar Moore to Dean Cain to the guy that passed away, God bless his soul, from 90210, Luke Perry. Everybody come out every year and support Tashina Arnold, Regina King. Just he will have a plethora of people. Nick Cannon. It will come in the whole weekend event. Tank, Tigger. I can name everybody for years. And Joe would send kids to out the country, to if they was want to learn something, they would write essays and they would get picked. He would have back to school jobs. You don't know that about him. You know what I'm saying? Joe Torry Give Back the Love Foundation, Joe Torry Day. My brother did a lot for St. Louis, and I'll never forget that because he started out his pocket when he was really making it big. And then Magic Johnson was like, no, I'm going to show you how to get sponsors, and you don't have to pay out your pocket. Pepsi and AT&T and all those companies like that. So I got to give it to him because you don't know that. You can Google it, you'll find it. But they did a lot and God helped. But Joe was a pillar of that part. And people like Nelly, when he was coming up, no, Nelly had his first song. He showed Joe. Joe showed him, Cedric the Entertainer, how to, what to do for when you make it to get back. So that's a true statement, And I remember when Nelly was just fresh out the gate. And people who knew that the event that Joe had that whole weekend, because it would be a weekend full of stuff that go on Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night. And he paid for the celebrities, their flights, their hotel stay, their food all weekend, whatever. They did that for a long time. My sister Roberta was the chairman over that. They had the city hall involved. It was put together. It wasn't no ratchet mess. They had real stuff in place for the whole weekend, and this went on. And people were looking forward to that. Every year they would come and they would have it at the stadiums where they would have basketball games. And I always would look like, damn, they come out for my brother like this. This is Joe Torry's thing, you know. I did admire that. So I give props to him because he did a lot of things for St. Louis, little old St. Louis, that, you know, some people won't think about doing when they make it. And he has a heart for children, and I have to say that. So Nelly, he was like, man, I'm taking so many pictures. He said, everybody got to take a picture. I'll never forget. And I said, get used to it. You know, his first song, it was hot. And he was part of the Lunatics. And I worked with one of the guys from the Lunatic at the airport at the time. And he was part of the group. And so it's just little stories I could tell you. But, you know, yeah. I feel like I know my brothers had started something really special. You know, I don't think they knew they were gonna be bigger than what they became, but they did become something great.
Now, did you all together collectively growing up, like, kind of speak things into existence? You know what I mean?
No, they got on my nerves. I was a baby sister. My Joe was a clown. He always was pulling on you, trying to put you in wrestle modes and have your head twisted all up and doing something. Because he went to state. He was good at that. And he played football. You just were like, he was Joan on you all the time. And Guy and him would be rivals and always at each other's head. And my other brother would be looking at them like, y'all, let's cut it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up with them. I have 2 older sisters, but they were out the house before I could really, you know. So it was this girl, then all boys, then me. So it's 3 girls, 3 boys, but I was a baby, so I was closer to them. And like I said, my mom had little things. We were doing stuff, but I was in the arts. Guy was in performance high school, but he played in the band. He was good at the drums. He don't tell nobody that. And he played sports. That was it. They wasn't thinking about getting into acting. It was me. That's a true story. But no. They silly though. Always cracking, snapping, and doing dumb stuff. I'm chasing a guy around the house with a 2x4. I'm grabbing a knife, acting like I'm gonna stab him because he got on my nerves, and it's just stupid stuff. You know, I see him and Joe get into so many fights. Joe would antagonize the hell out of him. You know, but you know, that's just growing up in our household. This is what it was. But we were family. You know, my dad was strict. He was a military man. He didn't play. He didn't take no joke. He wasn't a tall man. But he wasn't scared of nobody. My dad didn't back down for nobody. He didn't play. So that's what it was. And my mom was everything to us.
So are you taller than your dad?
I don't know. I don't know now. I mean, he probably was my height, a little taller, you know. But my dad was a tough man. He was smart. And I respected him. He was the kind that you would just automatically respect him. Even if you didn't know, he didn't have to command it. He just had this air about him where he was just like, you know, not to play with him. He was funny too on the low, but my dad was like a serious man and he loved family. So, you know, he didn't play. Wasn't when he said no meant no. But no going back and asking again the second time he gonna change his mind. That didn't work.
Right. Yeah, that just pissed him off, huh? That's how my parents be. You know, they don't like when they said no. They'll go ask the other parent.
I would go to my mom because she was easier. She was more liberal and free. But my dad was like, But if he said no, then it was pretty much what it was, you know. But I learned to love music through my dad, like the Temptations and Sam Cooke, and he had all those albums and things like that. I learned to appreciate music and the history of music from my father. And I learned the acting side and about people in history, like, you know, people like Sojourner Truth and Harriet Tubman and all that stuff through my mother, James Baldwin. You know, my mother was a historian. She has a degree in librarian science. She's a teacher. So we learned all that stuff about our culture and all that stuff more from her. So that's how I got my name. Everybody got a normal name, and then you got Malaika. It's like, okay, so... But it has a meaning. It took me a long time to really accept it and like my name. But it means angel. It's Swahili in Arabic. And I used to be mad because I was like, why I didn't get a name like Sharon or Teresa? Or I used to ask my mama that. Why you didn't name me like the girls in school? Like, why I gotta have this name? You know? And she really broke down the meaning behind it, and I had to love and respect that. And now I love it. But I didn't like it at first when I was little.
No, it's special. It's special. And I love
Thank
that.
you.
I love that. Now I have a beautiful picture that I found of you and your family that you had on your IG. On which holiday was this?
Oh, that was my mom's 80th birthday. My dad passed uh 2014. I think that was 2017. And my mom had turned 80. And they threw a party for her in St. Louis. We all put together a party. Um and that was the day.
Okay, looks
So
nice.
we
That's
just
a beautiful
missing
shot.
one. Yeah, I love it. We had so much fun. She danced and everything. My mom was funky. She's something else. She up in age, but she was still trying to dance and do her thing.
Now, what are you most looking forward to with these upcoming holidays?
Just really with family, basically. Get through this year. I'm ready for 2022. I like to chill with my kids and just have, a nice time reminiscing and just getting ready for the new year. That's basically it. Spending time.
Now, are you going to somebody else's house and to eat, or you have to do
For
the
my
cooking?
for Thanksgiving this year, because my daughter just moved to a new house, and we have her baby Amari is a new addition to the family. Her son, my son's son, and
Your son,
so
son.
we do it. And it's my birthday falls on Thanksgiving this year,
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah. So we do it. I don't have a slave over kitchen on my birthday, so I'm gonna do Thanksgiving there, and then Christmas at home as always.
Okay,
Yep.
nice, nice. Well, hey,
Oh,
thank you so much, Malaka, Torry, for just like you say, just man, just opening up about your life, your experiences, just basically your path, your journey, how you got to where you are in your life now, the great success, the legacy that you've built, you're doing some extraordinary things. I'm really proud of you.
thank
You
you.
came, you came to the interview ready to show out, with the red on. And what I'm saying, I already knew what it was gonna be. I knew it was gonna be
I
it was
had to
gonna be
try
one of
something
them. But hey,
different.
nah, but
Thank
honestly,
you.
though,
I
I
really
really appreciate
appreciate it.
you. No, I
Thank
really
you for
appreciate you.
choosing me, and it's an honor to be here. And I appreciate the time and just the interest. And thank you so much. I look forward to working with you. And I really appreciate you just shouting me out and showing me so much love, pulling up stuff that I didn't think you was gonna pull out on me. But I appreciate you. And thank you, Mimi, for just the questions and the comments, and just I can't wait to just do more. And I wish you the best and everything. Thank you so much.
No, absolutely. I definitely wish you the best over everything that you're doing, that you're working on. I appreciate everything you're saying. But man, I just want to wish safety over not only your life, but your whole family life, and all those that you love and the people that look up to you, and just things continue to work out to your favor and become even bigger than what you even imagined that it could be, or what you ever thought it to be. You know what I mean? Because remember, we work hard. God has even bigger blessings for us. You know what I'm saying? One that can hold his own. So you know what I mean? That's what you've been doing out here, and just wearing many hats to get the mission done. With Tory Girl Media Entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So hey, that's what's up.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I
I
see, I
received
see
that.
you.
Thank you.
And I told you I had some more Marlin shots. So I ain't done. I ain't done.
Oh my God. There you
You look
Thank
at it inside this
you.
one. I would have crushed you for using this for flyer. Also.
Oh my
no,
God. Thank you so much. You're so funny. Thank you.
no. Hey, hey,
It's
I
been a
was a
pleasure.
comedian my last flight. I was a comedian my last flight.
I see.
Hey,
Oh, that was
so
fun.
this is nice.
That was in Brooklyn. I was still in New York, and Joe happened to be in town. Cole from Martin was there with him. It was their show together, and they had some other comedians. And I popped up, and I took him for a girlfriend with me. So yeah, that was
Absolutely,
fun.
definitely. Now,
Thank you, huh?
no, thank you. As a last question, I was going to ask, what was your favorite show or thing that you like to watch on TV? Whether it's your favorite movie, your favorite show, You know what I mean? Because you had such great actors, comedians right there in your household, also being yourself. But when you were younger, who else did you, look look at or draw to? Particular actress maybe or anything?
Well, younger, I used to like. I'm not gonna lie. I used to like Family Ties a lot. The show
Okay,
Family
family
Ties with
time.
Michael J. Fox.
Yeah,
I used to like Starsky and Hutch when I was little. I watched Good Times, The Jeffersons, all those were my favorite. And then as I got older, The Cosby Show, The Different World, um, became, and then Martin. I love me
yeah,
some
Martin.
Martin. I
Yeah.
like some of the cop shows. I used to watch The Equalizer with my dad and Hunter. He
Mm,
used to call me Malaika. Everybody called me like The Equalizer's on. I used to watch that with him. So those
yeah.
shows are to my heart. And in college, Martin was something that everybody would watch in the student union, and then the Def Comedy Jam got popular, and then we were doing that. So those are things that stuck with me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, just always curious and just to get another side of Malaka real quick. You know what I
That's
mean?
me. Yep,
No, I
yep. My
really
favorite
appreciate
actors were
you.
always Robert De Niro, Denzel Washington, Al Pacino, um, Loretta Devine, Vanessa Calloway, and Angela Bassett.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. I know. I know one of my sisters had met Angela Bassett before, which back in the day.
yeah, yep. So that's it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's been It's really been fun just getting to know you and just celebrating you today on the show. Really though, and just
Thank
me learning
you.
more about your company, everything you stand for, and some of your loves and some of your passions. You know what I mean? For the things that I was allowed to ask. Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
hey,
Thank you.
no, but
Well,
thank you for
I
everything
wish
you've
you the best holidays. Love and light your way. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a wonderful job. I wish you nothing but success and peace and blessings. So thank you. Thank you again.
Oh yeah, thank you so much. Peace and blessing. I look really forward to just networking with you with the magazine and everything and whatever else come about, within the universe because, what I mean, I believe that everyone connects for a reason. You know what I mean? It's just up to us to find out the purpose. So, I appreciate your time today. Again,
Thank
have a
you.
great day as well and have safe holidays, safe travels and everything like that with you and your family. And man, just have fun and you know, Um, if you go on your trip, take that red, do the red again.
Oh my
Take some
God.
pictures, take
Okay.
some
I'm
pictures,
gonna listen to
take
you.
some pictures, take some pictures in that red.
I will listen to you. Thank you so much. You have a
Matter of
good
fact,
night and
oh, no, I'm sorry.
well, you
No,
better
not
be
go
cut it out. No, no, no.
ahead. No, I'm tripping. No, for
All
real
right.
though. Be safe. Have fun. Much love.
Okay. Thank you. Bye
Be
bye.
safe. Salute.
You too.
Thank you everyone who was able to join us today. Had a lot of fun with Malaka. Over 2 hours of footage you just got for the free. So man, make sure y'all just continue to support Malaka Torry. She's doing big, great things. Torry Girl Entertainment, and you know what time it is. This is actually the point of the show. Where I shout out all the sponsors and just some people that are my media partners. So first I'm gonna start with Gina Hills, lifeandentertainment.com. So man, make sure y'all follow Life and Entertainment. Man, I'm a little winded after this interview. Man, I ain't gonna lie. I need some water. But yeah, make sure y'all follow GinaHills.com. Also, shout out to UrbanGrindTV.com. Shout out to my brother Wally. Also, shout out to LilyB.com. Shout out to LaniceAlex.com. And she has a beautiful spa in Plainfield, Illinois. Shout out to the woman who just made the front cover of the first issue of I Said It Management Global Networking Magazine. One and only first Dutch female MC, first Asian female MC, first lady of ultramagnetic MCs from the Bronx, the one and only LJ Wicks. So make sure y'all follow LJ Wicks. You know, she's doing great things, and she's also a fashion designer and founder of many great things coming soon. Also, shout out to streetscienceradio.com. Shout out to hairbossbiz.com. Shout out to Dolores Green. Shout out to AC Green. Shout out to Elise Boswell, Queen Sapphire, and CEO of Just Me Magazine, justmemagazine.com. Shout out to DMP Magazine, Dean Moulton Photography. Appreciate you, big bro. You know, took some great shots, you know what I'm saying, at the my recent event for the launch party. You know, appreciate you showing up and showing out like all the time, brother. Love. Shout out to She Bananas, yeah, on the afternoon kickback, you know what I'm saying, on My Radio Chicago throughout the week, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Also, she's the first lady and manager at Mainstream Radio. And man, if you all not know by now, you know what I'm saying. Also, shout out to Blue Smoke Empire. Shout out to MIA Entertainment Group. Mimi Acosta. She was the woman leaving the comments throughout the show today. I appreciate your participation, Queen. Appreciate you. Make sure y'all follow Torry Girl Media Entertainment. Like y'all learned from the show, you know, she's doing some incredible things, really big things. And I'm just grateful to be networking with her with the publication. Also, shout out to Tranquil Sisters, and she does custom candles, and she's another one of the writers for the publication coming up, and she's one of our editors, Teresa Morgan. Shout out to my friend Phyllis, the new host of the original Love and Tea Variety Show coming soon. It's going to be the first and third Mondays, 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. starting January 2022. Get ready to tune in. It's going to be hot. Also, shout out to my brother Bryant, you know what I'm saying, Red Level Entertainment.com. And also, I like to just thank everyone who's part of Show Off Your Talent. This is the new flyer representing the new month of November. And these are the November celebrity judges. And today, like always, we have the famous Mimi Acosta, who is the she's CEO of MIA Entertainment Group, an actress, longtime promoter, famous, legendary, you know, Mimi Acosta. Then we also have CEO and founder of Blue Smoke Entertainment. He's a songwriter, engineer, international skrilla. And then today's guest celebrity judge happens to be legendary, iconic. She actually is director of the first female band called Climax from 1979, and she's a Hall of Famer in the women's songwriters. She just became a recipient of Hall of Fame of the Women's Songwriters Award, with one and only Miss Cheryl Cooley. So I'm glad to have the three of them just participating and being able to be the ones to judge whoever the lucky person representing round six, show off your talent, best clean YouTube video contest where we give away $100 cash and over $1,000 worth of prizes live on my YouTube. I said in management, please go subscribe if you have not. You do not want to miss this show and you do not want to miss my next interview. My next interview, I'm gonna go ahead and let you know, is with Maximilian, the legendary superstar reggae artist Maximilian, coming up real soon. I believe that's gonna be Friday. So man, stay tuned, man. You know what I mean? I'm about to after this show, I'm going ahead and get started on my flyer. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I do. In fact, I'm gonna send it to I Said It Graphic Design Lab, and then they're gonna send it back when it's done. That's how it works. In that order. But again, thank you for everyone. Make sure y'all tune in November 26th. Mark your calendar. Again, thank you to our special celebrity guest today, CEO of Torry Girl Media Entertainment, actress, screenwriter, creative producer, and acting coach, and creative director on Image Awards, one of the a part of the committee. I'm sorry, she's part of the NAACP Image Awards committee. One and only Malaika Torry. Malaika Torry, part of Lyft and part of, let me see, and this is Lyft right here again, Ladies in Film and Television. And they recently celebrated their 12th anniversary, so congratulations to them. Man, I'm tired, y'all. All right, we're gonna get out of here. She wore me out. 2 hours and 18 minutes. Whew, I wasn't ready. But again, shout out to Malaika. Peace to you, Queen. Make sure y'all support her. Make sure y'all just continue to support the whole family. Shout out to Joe and shout out to Guy Torry. Much love. And like always, thank you to everyone that's part of the custom backdrop. Appreciate every last one of y'all. Make sure y'all support all of these companies and businesses and brands that's on this backdrop. These are all incredible people that you should know. I said it TV.com. All right, I'll see y'all next time. Catch me live again Friday with Maximilian, the legendary reggae artist. Peace and blessings. Love. Oh yeah, if anybody asks, I said it.